what other impressions of daily life in Afghanistan have you gotten? In other words, what would be most surprising to an American going to Afghanistan for the first time?
Well, we all know Afghanistan's not Los Angeles.
Right.
Okay. In a way, to me, it was like, I'm a historian. I teach social studies. And it's like going back thousands of years. Afghanistan is an ancient civilization with, okay, Muslim is sort of a recent religion, only a couple thousand, less than 2,000 years influence there. But they have an ancient tradition, and in some ways it reminded me even of ancient Greece, the kind of how it might have been in the agora, how men were talking to each other, not just doing marketplace, but they were so alive. They were so full of life that it just was a glimpse of what it might have been like maybe in Israel 2,000 years ago, or Greece 2,500 years ago. Insight into the old traditional way of life, different kind of family values that were something we sometimes lose today.
Tell us more about that. I'm very interested to know about that.
Well, it's very often that, if a family's intact, 3-4 generations live together, and they support each other for everything. And it's a very rich family life. It's respect for elders, giving to the younger children. Actually, I thought, maybe in the end, we will learn more from this ancient culture that'll benefit us,
right,
than just us helping out when they're immediate broken down society that's been the result of civil war.
There seems to be something intact there that, in a sense, we've lost sight of here in America.
That's
in
right.
our very modern civilization, and that is the importance of the family as a building block of a society.
Exactly. So,
in a very substantial way.
I felt that, and here in America too, there are, many Afghanis that have fled since the communist days, and they too keep their family traditions. Often they still wear in America their traditional clothes too, but more important is how they haven't lost their family structure. And to tell you the truth, they're so warm and so rich and so vibrant. I think many of us would be very envious, not in a negative way, in a very joyful way, if our own families could be as solid and supporting and encouraging as I've seen among Afghani families in America or in Afghanistan.
Well, that's great. That's inspiring to know that that's the reality over there, and that maybe we could benefit from learning something from their way of life. In the news a while back, we heard about a Muslim man in Afghanistan who converted to Christianity, and by virtue of that was given a death sentence. What needs to happen in Afghanistan in terms of religious freedom and tolerance toward other faiths?
Okay. First, we have to understand that traditionally that is a Muslim perspective in a Muslim country.
Not just Afghanistan.
Not just Afghanistan. It's the same in Pakistan now. If you convert from Muslim to Christianity, it's a death sentence if it was enforced. So it's the cultural situation, but also, hopefully they can grow out of that. But also my own practices, my own personal experience is that people practice a lot better than what their law is. Like when I was in India, and I share with people my desire to help Afghanistan, people fed me food, they washed my clothes, they were so grateful, knowing full well I come from a Judeo-Christian background. is they had no animosity, no desire to kill me, that kind of thing.
Right.
Where sometimes in America, because my religious tradition, since I converted to Unification Church in 1976, I faced a lot of persecution by Christians.
You're a follower of Reverend Moon.
Yes. And so sometimes our practice, legally, we have religious rights, but even in America, a lot of times our practice is pretty intolerant. So
you've experienced that kind of intolerance here in America.
Yeah, I think it's a chance for us to reflect on ourselves. It's easy for us to point the finger at another culture, and especially when we don't understand, and it seems completely ridiculous. It seems totally intolerant.
Right.
Especially since America is the country of religious freedom.
Right.
So we just don't see it from their perspective. But on the other hand, we should look at ourselves better and realize that even here in America, are we tolerant of Muslims? We do hear sometimes that in our country that loves religious freedom, sometimes people taking their hands to burn down a mosque or persecute someone because they're Jewish or not exactly like them. So it gives us also cause. What breeds tolerance in the world? Because our Muslim friends in the Central Asia and the Middle East are not going to go away. So I think the greater concern is what will lead to better understanding so we can all grow in better tolerance in our world.
As a human family.
As a human
amongst
family.
all religions, amongst all cultures, how can we better embrace the diversity of all civilizations?
And among educated people in Afghanistan, and I've met some. I went to a special peace initiative in the Middle East, and I met Mr. Taj Mulatmo, incredible personality. He reminded me of a great Christian, even though he's Muslim, because he was a doctor that during Soviet times would go to every back village to take care of people. When there was no structure. Such a heart to serve his fellow human beings and his countrymen, and he was concerned in Jerusalem, how can Muslims and Jewish people, how can we overcome our ignorance towards each other? So there's a goodwill among many Muslims that are not terrorists, they're not narrow-minded, that seek goodwill. And same I found among Jewish people too in Israel. The vast majority of people want peace. And they even love their Muslim brothers and sisters. It's a political problem that, has to be overcome, not just, and it can't be solved in political terms. It takes goodwill and a lot of effort on both parts. So
we have to kind of find ways to foster and encourage that goodwill to flourish.
Right. In our differences, to tolerate each other, and I think mostly understand each other, because when you understand a person's religion better, then you're automatically not as ignorant, and you're not intolerant because you know what it means to them.
Exactly. Without
having to, become that religion. You can understand what they're doing and the reason of it.
Great. Well, I want to thank you so much for being our guest today. Our time has already run out.
Wow.
And time has kind of flown by. So I want to just really thank you for sharing your insights and your experience from your work in Afghanistan, and wish you the very best in everything that you're doing over there.
I appreciate this opportunity, Mr.
Thanks
Moss.
for coming. I appreciate it. You've been watching The Defining Moment for Creating the Culture of Conscience. You can find us on the internet at www.definingmoment.tv. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.